I don't exactly do what I say on my channel. I abide by all the things from my channel, but I don't exactly do like just that. I did hit the reset, and my friend Davo, who's an Australian that's been coming here for 15 or 20 years or whatever the heck it's been, he named the channel Reset with Rob, and I'm the Rob, and then I'm doing the reset. That's where that comes from, in case you weren't sure. Let me talk about that. So, because it's not really for everybody, but it is interesting, and I wanted to do this. In my head, I was like, I want the total. I wasn't just like, I'm going to go and retire somewhere, and then I'm going to go and retire in Southeast Asia, and then ultimately I chose Thailand. This was really a case where I wanted to do the total reset. I had been very physical my whole life, and then, I lost all that very quickly. I won't give you the whole story again. Most people know the story, but a series of very negative impacts on my health came very quickly within 24 months and all that. So then I lost that, and then I wanted it back. Nobody that was ever really strong or really muscular or a great hockey player or a great volleyball player or whatever, or a runner, whatever they did, nobody loses all that over a period of 24 months and goes, well, heck, that was fun and all, but I don't really need to. I spent my whole life doing that, but I don't need that anymore. No, I didn't know. So I used to be extremely strong. I was a power lifter and a bodybuilder. And so people say, geez, Rob, how'd you get so muscular at 62? I have half of what I used to have. That's how I got so muscular. I kept half. How did I hit the reset button? How would I define the whole reset life? I guess it's the old, nothing new here. It's the old idea of a guy divorcing and then he can just take the do-over. It's the do-over. Which makes, I'm not going to name any names, but I used to have some women in my life before, and man, they would get so angry. We'd watch a movie and the male character in the movie just got a divorce and took a do-over, or broke up with his girlfriend and just went and got a younger, prettier girlfriend, started working out and bought a convertible and moved on. And boy, that one lady would get really angry. It was like she'd get triggered. It was really, wasn't just angry, she got triggered. Kind of weird. Why would that bother somebody that another person found happiness? That just seems so strange. But it is unfair. I will tell you, hey, I got news. Life's unfair. New fact. You heard it here first, people. Somebody was asking me about this. In fact, I talked to Usani about this the other day. My friend Usani, a Thai woman here. We've been close friends for 6 years. We have a great close friend. I can talk to her about anything. We were talking about how you see a Western man with a Thai woman, and I've seen it twice, but you almost never see a Thai man with a Western woman. And we all know the answer, but Usani just flat out stated it. She says, well, Thai women typically want a man that has more than they do. They want a man with more. And obviously that meant money mostly. The guys that come here are definitely sick of it. I've never ever once talked to a Western man here, but said, boy, I'm pining away for those good old days back in the West. Everybody loves the women here, loves the relationships here. Yeah, it's dangerous, and most of us get it wrong, and a lot of us get it really wrong. And if I can find a statistic, and I've got another idea how I might find some statistics, I'll throw it on the screen. But the expat or foreign resident retiree suicide rate here might be rather high. It's impossible for me to tell. There were some places that were tracking some statistics which did not look good, and those places have disappeared. So I don't know what's happened, but I have yet another idea if I can, because it's a good warning for you. Dang it, it's in the news regularly. And that's not something that they really like to promote. They like to promote tourism, Thailand, and fun. They don't really like to say, hey, come here and jump off the 19th floor. But that does happen a lot. And that's mostly, as I can tell, and I always ask when I hear about it, because I want to kind of pass it on to the channel here, that almost always involves a woman. And so far that I can remember, it's always involved a woman. Maybe drugs and other things too. Borrowing money from the mafia and not paying it back, that will get you jumping off the 19th floor, probably with a lot of assistance. So let me try and get to my point here. So hitting the reset, what did I do? I mean, the main thing is it started with I had to heal because I was in such poor physical shape. I came here and I was barely able to walk. I had a blue gate in my early videos, and if you watch me, I barely had the physical strength. I was a heavy gate, but still I barely had the strength to open and close my gate. And so as I was healing and all that, I looked really bad. The last 2 years. It all happened over 24 months. I guess wow, that really is so literally true. Back in America, and my appearance degraded quickly. I had a massive rapid weight loss from health reasons, and then I had a bunch of surgeries, and one of them went really bad, and all these things. And all that had an impact on my appearance. And my son turned to me one time. I've told this joke a couple times, but it's a great joke. I'm close friends and a close relationship with my adult son who's has autism, and so he just says what's on his mind, and which gets interesting at times. And he turns to me one day and he goes, "Dad, you look like shit." And we both had a good laugh. I had a belly laugh. I mean, dang it, that's funny. And it was true. I mean, I never really was like a handsome guy or anything, but I always had like a presentable appearance. And here I looked like somebody on chemotherapy. I didn't have cancer, but if you had just met me, you might think, oh, that poor guy. That's what I looked like. Well, nobody wants to look like that. So I began doing skin treatments here. The electronic stuff. I've got a playlist, Looking Your Best. It's all detailed in there. I still go once or twice a year because it's actually healthy for your skin. So I maintain my appearance with that, and then I just started paying attention to my haircut, and I got some new glasses, and the main thing here is clothes. And then I'm wearing kind of a party shirt today. It's Friday. There's a kind of a party going on here at Fawn's work today. I brought a gift to her boss, who is a friend of mine. I like him, and we will hang out and have a smoke and a drink once in a while. He's a very, very nice man, very polite, and I like him. So I just did that. I gave him something for the party. I always contribute to the parties because it's like it's super obvious that I'm a bit wealthy in Thailand. It just is. You're a Westerner. I don't look like a Thai. No one's ever thought, hey, are you Thai? That's just not going to happen. And these people all treat me really well, and they're all really respectful to me. And everybody, gee, it's weird. I like that. So I do that. But back to my point here. So really, some guys will just want to like hit the reset button and then just go start dating younger women, and you can. And as I'm saying here all the time, I said again in a recent video, the problem is they will date you. Back home, if you approach a woman way above your pay grade, sometimes you'll get kind of a negative reaction, like, "Geez, are you kidding me? You jerk, you whatever, or they'll laugh at you, or they'll maybe pretend to be a little polite, and then the moment you turn your back, they'll joke with their lady friends what a nut you were for approaching. You know what I mean? Here they generally, yeah. If you're completely, obtuse about the whole thing, you might get that. But a lot of women that are really way too pretty, have way too many options for a Western guy, an older, heavy-set, ungroomed Western guy. There's a percentage of them that are like, that guy's probably got a lot of money, and I got to take care of my mom. Here, it's a big cultural thing, by the way. You need to know this. The children, but generally just the daughters, pay the parents monthly. They give the parents an allowance. A support is what they call it. Support is a English word that the Thais have borrowed. If you say support, they most know what that is, or maybe everyone knows what that is. I'm not sure. And so the women end up with most of the financial obligations here. The men are kind of free of all that. So the women go to the mom's house and maybe do the laundry, maybe sweep out the house if the mom and the dad aren't, firm enough to do that. They'll give them money. They'll bring them rice and food if they want, if they need, whatever. Women will take off work and take their parents to doctor's appointments and things. Where the sons, they may, and I've seen some do that. But it's probably 90-10. It's not anywhere near an even split. It's 90-10, 95-5. It's a big, and I'm a beneficiary of this. I get care from Fawn, and when I go to Thai events, which is almost 90% of the events I go to are Thai. I rarely go and meet a group of Western men. In fact, I pretty much never do that anymore. I meet a friend. I have friends that are Western. I go meet one friend, but all the events actually I attend are Thai. And so I sit in a place of respect because I'm older and I engage and respect their culture. I've earned my respect. I don't just show up and command respect. There was a guy here that was doing that, and he kept wanting to include me in his stuff, and I just politely as I could just said, look, I've already got kind of enough friends, and I hate to do that, but he would just expect all this respect, and he hadn't earned it, and it doesn't work that way anywhere, and it doesn't work that way here. Here is part of anywhere. So anyhow, I sit in my place of respect with some of the older, more senior people, and I'll get served food and stuff, and I'll bring my own whiskey because I prefer American whiskey, and I'll offer to share it, but they never like it. I'll give a shot or two or half a shot to a couple of guys. They're like, oh my gosh, Rob's drinking rocket fuel, which I do drink rocket fuel. I drink very high proof single barrel bourbons. That's my thing. And so it's okay, Ken. My dongua. Anyways, Fawn's boy was a little afraid of the dog. I told him he didn't have to. Ma, my gut. Anyway, so where was I? So I'll sit and I'll enjoy and I'll do all that. But I engage and I earn that. And the women they do all the work. They prepare all the food. If Fawn is too busy, another one of her friends will then do the bodyguard. They'll give the service to me for ice in my drink. If I'm drinking beer, which is rare, but if they're all drinking a beer, I'll drink usually one beer with everybody. I try not to be an elitist snob, you know what I mean? So I'll do that. The women do all that, and so they're under a lot of pressure. And so when a guy comes and he's totally out of his pay grade, totally being really inappropriate in the culture, really way off on Mars on this whole thing, a good percentage of the time he'll get a yes. And as I've warned people before, they'll not only date you, they'll date you exclusively, and they'll marry you, and all that. And then you're not earning that, and then that whole thing becomes a disaster. That's all covered in other videos. So for me, I didn't want that. I wanted it real. Okay, great. You want that real. So, in hindsight, it is more work having a younger woman. It is great that Fawn is so young and pretty. That's great. It absolutely puts a pep in my step. When she comes in and wants to cuddle with me on my couch in my library, or we're going to bed at night, and she always goes to bed before me, and I encourage her to go to bed. I'll kind of put her to bed. No, honestly, and we make a joke out of it, and I tuck her in, but she'll want to stay up and wait up for me. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll just stay up and watch TV or study Thai or whatever I'm doing for like one more hour, and I'll come see you in bed. And she's usually asleep by then, but she will try to stay awake and wait for me. But when I look at her in my bed, she's very pretty. It's very pretty, seeing her in my bed, and having her everywhere in my house. It's nice. And we have a beautiful garden in the front yard of our house, if you've seen that or not. And she's out there watering or doing something in the garden, and she's so beautiful in her little garden. It's great. But on the other hand, she's younger, so her kids are younger, so I've had to take on a little role to I didn't have to, but it was fair, to take on a bit of a role and help with her kids. Plus, Thai male children are really a handful, and quite frankly, she can't handle them. It's kind of the same thing that I did for my first wife. Sometimes the kids wouldn't behave. Even she had 2 little dogs, and the dogs wouldn't listen to her. And if she would just say, Robert, and then the dogs would come when she called them, because they knew the next thing was I was coming, and I would maybe not be happy if they made me chase them around. So they learned. So I wanted the whole thing, and so the younger woman thing, I see it in hindsight that it cuts both ways. But it is fun, and we don't look crazy out of sorts together, because I look kind of young for my age. I'm 62, and most people guess me at more like 52, and she's 40. So we're not too. We're a little. You can obviously tell I'm older than she is by more than a little bit, but it's not too bad. Now here's a big part. I wear a nice colored shirt every day. My hair's cut to a Thai style. I have kind of stylish glasses on. I have I wear like an Apple Watch and one piece of gold. I use the watch for my sleep. It helps me with my the reason I bought it is two of my friends. It helped their sleeping cycle, and it worked for me too. The damn thing, I can't believe it works, but the stupid thing does. I had that health trauma, and I lost 50 pounds, 47 really, but I always say 50 pounds the last 24 months back in the States. In fact, it was almost the last 12 months. I lost a pound a week for roughly 52 weeks. Almost exactly that. Like, it was the craze. All of a sudden, I'm just like, what the heck's happening? I'm just losing weight. It was weird, and it just kept going. And then after about halfway through, after I lost 25 pounds or so, I'm like, this might be in my best interest. And only then did I begin to pay attention to my diet and actually intentionally try to kind of run with it. But I didn't have to do much because my body was in trauma mode, and it was just losing weight like crazy because it was very unhappy at that particular moment. So I kind of ran with the weight loss, and that's a biggie because not being fat or being a more appropriate weight is a huge part of looking and engaging with younger people. If you look at your rock stars oh, Rob, you're such a meanie. No, I was fat my whole life, and I am totally sympathetic, but hear me out. Look at your rock stars. They go to an event, the older rock stars, and they go, man, he still looks good. He's got the long hair still, and he's still skinny, and he's still playing the guitar. But when Axl Rose, the lead singer for Guns N' Roses, and then Vince Neil, Motley Crue, they showed up within the last few years to events, and they were really fat, and everyone's like, what happened? Who was this thing? And where did it eat Vince Neil? It was all those kind of jokes. And so I'm just telling you, I'm not making it so. I'm just reporting to you accurately, sir, how the world works. And if you want to engage younger and cooler and hipper and all that, not being fat is going to help you, and it is worth your time and attention. Now, I got kind of a lucky break. Hey, all I had to do was lose half my wealth, have a miserable divorce, and go through several agonizing spinal surgeries, and hey, I lost the weight, so you don't need to hate on me either. If I could undo it, I would. I would rather be fat and not have had all the stuff that happened to me, but you don't get to pick those cards all the time. Anyway, so I ran with a weight loss. I began to, when I was able, and that's only been fairly recently, been able to get back in the gym and start any kind of meaningful weightlifting. I've only been kind of like doing real workouts, as you might say, the last 3 months. It's been 5 years, 5.5 years or something. Only the last 3 months have I been doing any kind of half normal workout. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm doing it, and my body's continuing to very slowly recover. I'm continuing to tone. I have kind of an old man six-pack now. If I flex my stomach, I can see the outline of a six-pack under my sort of old flabby body a little bit. It's not the six-pack you're going to see on Baywatch, okay, but it's better than a big old gut. But for you, just get a shirt that fits. Get a fitted. My shirts are fitted to show my physique because I'm proud of the fact that I got muscles and a relatively small waist at 62. But if you're the usual out of shape guy, being in shape isn't a big thing here. I like it, and it does help to engage more young and all that. But if you just got really good shirts and wore the appropriate amount of, just one or two pieces of jewelry, and you drove a nice car, and you're just polite, and you learn to speak a little bit of Thai, and the main thing is just knowing when to bow a little bit. And you have to why everybody all the time, but even just a little bow, just a little, and smiling all the time is, almost none of the Westerners smile like you're supposed to here. But that's a big one. If you're going to just not smile all the time, then that's such a big detriment. I don't know how you overcome that. That's a real tough one. That's a key to the culture. Anyways, but so back to my thing here. So I began to work on my smiling. I'm kind of almost sort of near fluent on the language, however you want to call that. But I have no problem engaging people. I'm talking with Thai people all day, every day. Still speak like an idiot half the time, but again, everybody's noticed that I'm not Thai, so they forgive me. And it has been a total reset, and I will say, equitably paired with a 22-year younger than me attractive Thai woman who has a real job and a real family. And she's and Fawn, my wife, my Thai wife, she's from a good family. She's from a respected family. She's not from, some group of gypsy scammers somewhere. I mean, this is a real solid family, and they have accepted me. It took a little while. Her dad's like a total live and let live. Her dad is like the poster boy for like what a good type person, like, and then under ideal circumstances should be. He accepted me within the first week, I think. He was, as long as I was cool with everybody, he was cool with me, no baggage. He carries no baggage anywhere he goes. Everybody else took a little time, which is normal. That's just totally normal. In fact, if everybody accepts you right away, you're probably in a scam, because the odds of a whole family liking you on the first day, that's really not going to happen unless they're scammers. I mean, honestly. So I'd be careful with that. But I would say after probably total acceptance and immersion with Fawn's family probably was 24 months, something like that, 2 years, probably a 2-year acquainted process. That's probably, is that normal for a marriage in the West? Maybe, probably the same, you think? Probably takes 2 years for all that to kind of gel, right? It's probably the same. But I like it. I don't regret it. I mean, it's still not easy sometimes. It'd be easier if Fawn was older. It would be easier. I wouldn't say, like, if it was an ego thing, I got to chase that young woman, I'm going to prove something to myself or to my ex-wife or to whomever else. I would say maybe think about it, do some self. You can get therapy, but I don't know how much you can do self therapy and just contemplate and think about things a lot, and maybe find some good psychological YouTube channels, like a real one. When I was having trouble with a narcissist or two in my life, I found this one lady has this whole YouTube channel just on narcissism, and she's a psychiatrist, I think, which is a psychologist who also happens to be an MD. So that's got to be pretty rough to get. And Dr. Ramani, I think it is. And I haven't talked about her in a long time. My gosh, she was fantastic. I mean, really helped me wrap my head around narcissists and what they do and what they want to do and what they're trying to do with you. And ultimately, by the time I started watching her channel, I'd already walked away from, I had 2 narcissists in my life that were just really making things rough for me. And by the time I started watching her channel, I'd already kicked both of them to the curb. And that was expensive to do in many ways. And I believe in a total, I'm talking about the whole gestalt of expense, not just money. I mean, your time, your energy, the emotion, the drain, you're going to lose other friendships. When you cut that person out, other people are going to side with them. Hey, great, enjoy your narcissism, So it was expensive, but it helped me heal watching her channel. She was basically giving advice to people who are still in the grips of a narcissist, which is like being in a web with a funnel web spider or something. I mean, they're nasty people. I mean, ultimately, the only thing I think you can do is get them out of your life, and that's what I did. Replaced that with Fawn. Kept my good friends back home and got a couple of new good friends here. And I'm real picky now who I let back in. I've had a number of people, and nothing against anybody. I mean, there's maybe one guy in there I really didn't care for, but in general, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time for a whole lot of new friends anymore. I've got a couple of good friends here. I'm kind of a kundio, which means alone. I'm kind of a kundio kind of guy over here, and I'm just happy with myself. I've got me. I got my notebook, which I am in my notebook a lot. I've got my Dick, Moby Dick, and working my way through it slowly, but I'm really reading it slowly and enjoying it. I read just 4, 5, 6, 10 pages at a time, put it down, go back, and I just kind of savor it and contemplate it, because the Melville, the author of this, is a brilliant writer, and I read another book of his, Taipei, which is almost as good. It's unbelievable, honestly. Those are, he writes, his sentences are really like poetry, and then I just kind of think about it for a few hours and ponticate it, which that's a real word, because that's from Star Trek. Mr. Spock said that word back in the 1960s. So ponticate should be in the dictionary. It's not, but it should be. So that's kind of what I did. Am I happy? Yeah. Would I say it's for everybody? Absolutely not. I would say it's for very few. Generally, if you want to do a reset, the woman doesn't have to be younger. You can just get a nice, attractive, 50, 55-year-old woman. And boy, they're out there. Boy, are they out there. Their kids will be gone and being done, raised, and you'll know what you're dealing with already. Good and bad. So if she's got like crappy kids, if she's got young male children that are aggressive, don't tolerate any aggression. Those guys are dangerous. I've got a friend here who's a real tough guy, a real tough guy, and he won't go to the outdoor concerts for fear of all these young men that are disenfranchised because it's not infrequent, I'll just say, at these big outdoor country type concerts where it's not a controlled venue. Like in the city of Bangkok, they're gonna lock that down. But if it's out in the Isan region somewhere and a big name is out there and it goes late at night, which it will, it'll attract a number of these disenfranchised young men. I talk about this in much more detail, in elaborate detail, the whys and whos and all that, the dynamics behind it in my book. But basically, they're angry and dangerous is the bottom line, and nobody wants trouble with these guys. They're just nothing but a bag of trouble. With the older woman, then the kids are already raised. You know who turned out good, who didn't turn out good. You're going to know her genetics because she's already 48 years old or 52 years old or something, and she's thin and beautiful still. Hey, she's going to be thin and beautiful when she's 70. You know, you get a younger woman and things could go one way or the other. You know, you never know if that's important to you. And with the kids, you're going to be helping raising the kids. You're going to have to. I think unless the in-laws are going to take the kids 100%, in which case you potentially are dealing with a scammer. Because what kind of good woman will leave her kids? You know, that for me, that would be a serious issue. I was dating a very nice lady. She did nothing wrong, but she was sort of kind of alluded to the fact she was willing to leave her kids with her parents if we were together. And man, that just didn't pass the smell test for me. You know, I could have cried when I kicked her to the curb too, because she was really, really pretty. And you know, and that mattered to me more back then. It matters a lot less to me now. In all honesty, I want a good, kind person. And Fawn's very pretty and all that. For me, I wanted physical care, medical care, because I need medical care. I will need this for the rest of my life. I will never recover 100%. That is not on the menu for me. And I'm not doing a pity party. That's fine. I'm a pretty dang happy guy these days. So I wanted a caring relationship, and that's where Fawn worked out for me, because I could see that she and one other lady I dated would have done the care as well. I picked out of all the women I dated, I picked one of the two women that I really knew in my heart, in my core, would have taken physical care of me regardless of whether my health went north or south. And ended up going kind of north, praise God, a bit, which I'm happy for. But at the time, I couldn't know that. And I was in a little bit of a hurry to get into a relationship because it was very, very hard to live on my own. But I did do the total reset. It did work out. For me, my key elements for a reset were significant weight loss. Total kind of a makeover of myself, because again, I looked like a stage 4 cancer, a chemotherapy recipient, something. I mean, I looked really bad. If you look in my Looking Your Best playlist, I do a couple before and after photos, and I mean, people that haven't seen me in a while, when I go back home, they don't recognize me. I mean, I look that different. I look like a different person. My daughter even said, she goes, "Dad, you look so different." It still bothers her sometimes, you know, but is what it is. But so I lost massive weight loss, kind of a makeover, if you want to call it that. But I did the skin treatments because I lost so much weight. You're not supposed to lose a lot of weight over about 50. Your skin won't go back, and you still have all the skin everywhere. And I looked like a prune or something. So again, your clothes and stuff, and then I you know, if you can't do everything I'm doing, that's I get that, but if you're gonna need to do most of it if you want to truly engage and truly do the total reset like what I did. But I'm pretty accepted. Like my Thai friends here, I got a couple around my age, but most are younger. Most are quite a bit younger. And I didn't meet everybody through Fawn either. I mean, everybody I met through Fawn, hey, shocked, they're younger. But I've got like a couple of Thai friends I met on my own, and they just happen to be younger, and they don't give a crap because I kind of look like they do anyways. I'm more muscular than they are by a lot. I mean, so that kind of adds to like the vitality, like that kind of like it gives you like this overt, even though sometimes I walk with a cane, but I don't let them see me doing that. Because that really doesn't play well here, I'll tell you. But they don't know that, and they just see me in a fitted, you know, T-shirt that shows off my muscles, you know, and they go, "Geez," you know, and I just you can hate on it if you want. Somebody I'm sure will, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying my retirement, and I love riding my big. I have a Harley Davidson chopper. It's actually a raked front end chopper, heavily customized. The paint job's only half done, but it still is gorgeous. And I pull up somewhere on that, I feel 10 feet tall. I just it just reminds me of when I was a teenager riding a dirt bike in this empty field next to my friend's house. You know, I was 13, 14, 15, something like that, doing stupid stuff that teenagers do. You know, just it still feels exactly like that. And here I'm 62. It's crazy how the years just melt away. It's like 45 years ago. I mean, is that weird? But it's true. So that's my story. That's the total reset for me. Make sure I got it all. So weight loss, fitness, total makeover, clothes, some accessories, glasses. I wear 1 or 2 pieces of gold every day just to show it's Thai gold, not Western gold. Don't wear Western gold. Don't show a lot. Don't show a lot because that's flexing, but 1 or 2 pieces just to show, okay, he's bought some Thai gold. He understands the culture. That's the necklace, not so much because people like to grab those. Sometimes I wear one, I'm in the mood, and I'm like, I'd like to see somebody grab it. That really is stupid because somebody would grab it, maybe have a knife, and then what, you know? So it's just ego. Just got to dial my ego down sometimes. That's hard sometimes. Anyways, but and then I guess in my case, the young beautiful woman, I suppose. But you got to earn it. I'm telling you, they will let you do it without you earning it, and you will not have the same results I do. What is that warning when you see commercials? The results are not all the same, or whatever. I can't think of how they say that, but you're going to get that. You're going to get the poor end of that. So be careful. If you want the younger woman, you got to earn it. You can't just buy it. You cannot do that. I know a couple of guys that have equitably done the much younger, beautiful woman thing, and the one guy's got a really young, really pretty lady. Like, wow. But he's handsome, personality. He's kind of famous. He's a bit of a celebrity. Yeah, he's rich too. You know, okay, you know, all that. I mean, yeah, he's got a different pay grade than me. So, and he's younger than me. So, you know, peak pay grade for a retiree is about age 50. You know, give or take somewhere in there. I'm 62, so I'm getting a little old. Is what it is. Anyways, that's it. Talked enough. That's my story on doing a total reset, because I talk about it on my channel as far as like coming here and immersing, but I am really doing actually something kind of different. And I just want to kind of be upfront and honest on one hand, and then two, for the guys interested in that, then there you go. So take care. You know, it takes more work. It's more work. I would say it's not easy, but none of this is easy. The easy option is to stay in a tourist area and where they speak a lot of English and there's Western food. Turns out when you're in 24-hour extreme pain, you're not hungry. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. If you're ever on Jeopardy, there you go. You get that one. It's kind of nice. I had a good but shorter shoulder day yesterday. Was feeling some pain, was feeling tired. I'm not entirely sure that this blood infection I had, or whatever the heck it was, is over, but I think I feel okay. Somebody up. Neighbor. I get along well with him. It's a little bit of a different fellow, but some people say they have some difficulty. That's his house there. Just lives outdoor. Just lives outdoor the whole time. Hey, I can respect, he's got a little different lifestyle. I got zero problem. I'm like 50%, what is that, libertarian, and then like 10% like anarchist. Let's just burn it all. And then the other 40%, couldn't tell you. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Just walking and just getting some exercise in. That's it. A little village life. There's Fawn's parents' house. They had leftover paint from my build, and they painted their house with it. Did a nice job too. I never thought about the house not being painted. I thought it was by choice, but they needed the paint. There you have it. This is Rob. Video's over. I'm closing my gate. But if you've been liking or subscribing, or and praise God if you've been a member of the channel, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that watches. You have a great day.